All right, so we're gonna move to you, Sean, on the next film.
Okay.
You said to me, said to us at the end of the year that there's this movie called Promising Young Woman that everybody needed to watch, and you said all women need to see it, and then you said and all men absolutely need to see it. And I'm like,
Twice.
yeah, you did say that. So
Yeah.
tell us what this film is about,
Wow.
and tell me your thoughts on this.
Yeah, it's called Promising Young Woman. It stars Carrie Mulligan. It's about a young lady. And from the start of the movie, you could tell just there's something in her head that's not quite sitting right. And as this plays out, she has a plan that she has put into motion, or according to the movie, has been doing for some time. And it deals with her interaction of men and the situations that sometimes women put themselves in, and men sort of like never seem to do the right thing or have poor intentions. And I mean, just that whole conceit is just like, wow, this is brilliant. But from the start of it, you really don't know where this movie's going. I mean, we just talked about Wonder Woman lacking unpredictability. Well, this movie's a 180 of that. This movie's totally unpredictable as you see on screen what's playing out in her head, and the film sort of lays out her cinematic plan of attack. I know people have sort of labeled this film a feminist revenge thriller, but it's much more than that, and it speaks a lot to today's society and interaction between men and women, and it really brings up some interesting observations and creates some interesting conversation that you probably should have after watching this movie. But the way it plays out is it's done in a really respectful way. But I love the dark comedic elements of this, but I also love the seriousness of this. Completely thought provoking, a tad bit shocking, but anybody who's been around for any considerable amount of time understands everything that's going on.
Yeah,
But
it's
I had to say this because I didn't want to
yeah,
give away.
yeah, I
It's a
love it.
really tough
It's
film to
hard.
talk
It's
about
hard to talk
without
about it
giving away.
without.
Yeah, without
I,
giving away
I,
too
I
much.
love how you positioned this. You did it much better than I would have because I think I probably would have told the story, but you gave me license to talk about a few things,
Okay.
and particularly about why you said men should see this. Is that you really do have to do some self searching while you're watching the movie. You cannot avoid it because it is about how you view women, how you treat
Treat
women,
women.
uh, 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 all that stuff in your circle in your mind. And I think that if if not, there's no way you can watch this movie and not think about, wow, do I do that? Am I kind of like this?
Man,
And
it's yeah.
and it brings up that question of because men, all people do it, but men, we talk about men right now. Men will be like, I'm a good guy, and what really is a good guy? What where how you what's your standard for good guy?
Well, that's because that's the beautiful thing about this movie, because even the supposed good guy in the movie is like, oh well, it makes you think. It's a a lot of times people throw around when we review movies. It was thought provoking. No, this movie really is thought provoking.
That's right, Katya.
I'm trying to think how I can say this again because there's so much that you don't want to give away, so that you are having that aha moment. I first saw this at Sundance late at night. You know how sometimes you see something and you're like, and then I rewatched it again with my husband recently just to make sure, I still had that same type of effect because it's tired, it's snow and all that crap. And it still held up, which tells you something about a film. Sometimes you see something in the beginning of the year, you're impressed, and then you look at it again and go, it was okay. But not with this. The other thing too is, especially in the climate that we are in now, right? Where we're talking about how society protects certain people and gives them the benefit of the doubt or ensures their future. This movie also does that, where, what's the line that the one woman said? But he had a future. He's a good guy. You know what I mean? We did certain things because we didn't want this thing to mess up this. And it does make you think. And I always say this, and some women get mad at me. Men aren't the only ones who enable each other to do bad things. a lot of times women help them in this. And we have
That's
a
the best
hand
scene
in
in the
this
movie.
too.
Yeah,
You know
that's the
what I
best
mean?
scene
We
in the
have a
movie.
hand in this too. Every guy, you know, from Harvey Weinstein, and the list goes on and on, that has gotten away with this behavior. There was a woman that when, you know, a victim came forward that said to her, this is how things are done. Grow up, get a set. If you want to move ahead, you need to take this L and move forward. You know what I mean? And it's very scary. So you see, it's not just the men. We as women sometimes, have we been good stewards? Have we been good allies? Have we been willing to be uncomfortable in order to do the right thing? That this movie also shows that.
Yeah,
You know,
I also,
it does.
I also
Go
want
ahead,
to,
Sean.
say this. The movie also shows this because we as a society tend to demonize. We think this is only done by large figures because, you know, Harvey Weinstein's name always comes up, Bill Cosby's name always comes up, Jeffrey Epstein's name comes up. But this movie does a good job of saying, no, it's not just those, it's the guy next door. It's
Regular
the guy
guy.
you never suspect. It's somebody close to your family. It normalizes this to let you know that this is a much more widespread problem than just headline people who commit these sort of things.
it's not the boogie, and also it's not somebody who's the creepy guy in the neighborhood.
Right.
It's the clean cut
Any
guys
guy.
that are your future leaders, your
But
business
I'm a good
owners.
guy. But I'm a good
Yeah,
guy.
You
I'm
know
a
what
good
I
guy.
mean? And
Yeah.
also, you know, there are certain scenarios when they understand what's going on, the men, the first thing they say is, don't do this to me, instead of like, I'm sorry. There's no accountability, right? The first thing is self-preservation.
I think you bring up such a great point, Kanti, about who we protect. And because men are the, you know, people that we protect a lot, many women, that's the system. So many women will fall, will, you know, will go with the system. Is that this is how the system works? I got up and I understood I had to go through. Saying if I'm a woman, I went through some of this. Hey, take your loss. Understand this is the system. Uh, uh, Arm yourself for the next time, but this time we just got to keep it moving.
And
Pretty much.
let's not mention that this was a great job of directing, and I love the fact that it was directed by the young lady who plays Camilla Bowles on The Crown. Like,
And she's also on
this
a
her
show
debut.
called, she's also on a show called, a very successful show called she was on a very successful show, BBC, you can see it here on PBS, called The Midwife. So she's been in the business as an actress for a minute.
For a
She's
while.
not new. She didn't start last week, you know.
But
This
this
is
is
good.
this is her directorial debut, and
Yeah.
also this is probably Carey Mulligan's best performance she's ever had.
The performance in this is really good. And Katya, you had been saying for some time that women have, from a directing perspective, have really put their best foot forward. And I think this is one of those real. I mean, this is not. I'm not saying this is an Academy Award winning film, but I think from a directing standpoint,
Well, nomination wise, it's definitely in the running for a Best Picture nomination. I mean, Best Director is going to be tough, just because
That's right.
It's really crowded. But Carey Mulligan for sure, nomination for
It's
Best Actress.
definitely, and this is why I say it's important that we have different voices, because here you're getting a woman who wrote this and she's giving you a spin on something that men have been giving us, and we've never had this type of conversation. And I also like that you walk away from this film, she's not telling you within this time frame who is right or who is wrong. She's giving you all of the options, and you walk away deciding for yourself, yes, this was wrong. Do you agree with her? Do you not agree with her? She makes you have the discussion, which I think is even smarter as a filmmaker, because too often, you know, filmmakers feel they have to take a side. She's not deciding for you.
The only pushback that I'm gonna give there is that it's pretty clear who's wrong in this movie to me.
Yeah,
But I hear you. I feel you.
I'm saying to you is, how can I say this without giving it? The end doesn't always justify the means. Like, just because something wrong was done to you, don't mean you can now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I understand that.
I feel you.
I also feel like, again, I'm trying to make sure I say it in a way. I feel like Carrie's character has made a decision a long time ago that whatever happens, happens, because in her mind, she needs to do what she needs to do in order for these folks to be held accountable. And if that means what it means, that's what happens, you know.
Well, this one is showing on Netflix, and
No, it's not.
It's on paid demand.
No, that's right. This is
it's on demand and in theaters.
This on demand, and this is should be in demand. You should absolutely, in my opinion, this is a watch it, clear, hands down, watch it. And I agree with everything you said, Katya, and I'm glad, Sean, that you put this one on my list, because it was not on my list, even though I got 150 emails to watch this one.
Well, I would also give this a watch it, but I also would like to let our viewers know is, because we made this film sound like really deadly serious and heavy.
Oh.
No, it's a very entertaining and easy watch.
Totally entertaining.
Yeah, I just don't want people to be
thank you.
Because we're making it sound a little heavy.
Doom and gloom for 2 hours.
Yeah.
No, that are really funny, where you like.
Yeah, no, it's very entertaining.
I'm so glad. I am so glad you said that, because we're trying to skirt around really telling them what happened in the movie.
Yeah.
That it's probably messing up some of the impact.
We're making it sound a little heavy.
Yeah. And it's really interesting. It's really entertaining, and you're gonna be talking about it because you see, we talking about it.
Yeah.